So I was just talking to one of my friends, and she couldn't believe that now that I'm completely sober. We haven't been talking in a while. We were catching up, and she just remembers me from a couple years ago how, alcohol and weed was always a big part of my life. And she knew that she was someone that, was like a best friend of mine, and she knew that I struggled. She was one of the very few people that actually knew that I struggled with these addictions, and that I was open with her and, told her about my weed addiction. And it was funny because she knew that I had tried. She saw me try to quit weed several times. She knew how serious it was, and she saw me relapse. And that was actually part of the reason why we stopped talking and stuff, because I felt bad about how I'd relapsed and everything, and I didn't want to have to deal with the feeling bad from her, or whatever, just my own internal battle. And so I kind of pushed her away because I didn't want to, have to feel the guilt from her seeing me relapse and everything. But I remember we were talking about how a couple years ago, how I was saying, she said that she knew that someday that I would be completely sober. And I said, I may be able to quit weed for good, but I'll never be able to give up alcohol completely for good. That I just couldn't conceive being sober because, 100% sober. It was kind of like I had to have one thing or the other, alcohol or weed. And we were thinking now, we were talking, and I was like, wow, that's so funny now, how now I live completely sober. I don't do anything. And today's Sunday right now. This used to be a favorite weed smoke. Every day was a favorite weed smoking day of mine, but Sunday was a glorious weed smoking day because it was Sunday, and usually I didn't have very much work to do, so I could just get high all day long and just enjoy myself. And, I didn't have to worry about my phone and emails and too many responsibilities on Sunday. I could just get high, and I didn't have to worry about any, my family, anything. I could just get high as crazy as I wanted to. And Sunday was always, and I was thinking about how now, I stay completely sober, and how the shift and why I don't feel like I need to get high and drunk anymore. And a lot of what it is transferring your addictions. Now on Sundays, instead of getting high like today, I gardened pretty much the whole day. I mean, I spent about 5 hours gardening today, and that's kind of like my Sunday routine. Now I wake up, I'll work out, I'll do a long bike ride, and I'll garden, and then I went and I did a long walk with my dog and watched the sunset, and I had a big cheat meal tonight. But a lot of success in quitting in breaking addiction is transferring your addictions, changing the addictions from something else. And that's a big reason why people fail at quitting or addictions, is because they don't transfer their addiction to something else. They try to quit, but they don't actually replace their addiction with something else. So what happens, because they didn't transfer their addiction to something else, is they end up going back to it. So you want to consciously transfer your addiction to something else. And I know I've talked about this in other videos in the past, but I'm sure some of you may not have taken action on this. So take action on this. Think consciously, what is going to be what I'm going to transfer my addiction to? Are you going to start gardening instead of getting high? Are you going to start exercising? Are you going to, I think that is one of the best things you can transfer your addictions to. Start exercising, start playing music, but you need, or reading, but whatever, playing video games, anything but getting high. But you need to consciously think, what are you going to do instead of getting high? What is going to be something you're going to transfer your addiction to? So just a little key for success, guys. One of the real keys to breaking an addiction is to transfer your addiction. Just change your addiction from one thing to another, and for utmost best success, try to transfer it to something intentionally that is going to be positive. You could transfer it to something like video games, but think about it. If you have the intention of transferring your addiction to something like playing video games or exercising, what do you think is going to help you to become a best version of yourself? So this is a unique time in your life where you can create a new addiction. So why not create a healthy addiction? Consciously create an addiction of something that's going to make you the best version of yourself. So with that being said, guys, hope you have a great day, great week, a great month, a great year. Let's make it a great life. See ya.